All right, folks, we're going to get started. There's a lot to cover today. This is just kind of more of this is the taster round. This is to get you interested and kind of see what we can do. And then all the magic happens after the show. There's also an afternoon session today if you want to do a little bit of hands-on. We're going to be doing, how do I upload a video to YouTube? How do I record a video? The hands-on of making stuff and uploading and managing. That's this afternoon. This is just the teaser of what we can do. So something you're going to be seeing a lot of today is this slide. Perfect does not equal good, and good does not equal perfect. Video content, multimedia, just be authentic. You want to be yourself. Your students, I make the same mistake. I try and record a video 20 times. Like the 15th take, I'm stumbling over my words because I've said the same thing 80 times. It's like when you try to say the word like fork. After like 20 times of saying it, it sounds weird. And that makes your students feel uncomfortable. They want you to just be you. So today we're going to cover all of this in a very short period of time. Video production, kind of some big thoughts. We kind of got 3 tiers. There's the do-it-yourself level, which most of you will be doing. Kind of a simple help with my end. And then kind of high-end big projects. Distribution, talking about getting it on YouTube. Talking about captioning, which is a necessity these days. Playlists for distributing your content, make it easier. Getting it on Blackboard, and then forms plus video. How do you know if the students have actually watched and engaged with the content, not just had it on the background? So I was thinking about these 3 things when I'm thinking about video. So kind of a spectrum. Always thinking about pedagogy. Pedagogy is king. Nothing we produce is going to be low pedagogy. Video quality, that can vary. And it doesn't necessarily have to be high quality video to be high pedagogy. And then production resources, we're all over the map. Some stuff it's you with your cell phone, just doing a little selfie cam. Some stuff we've got lights, multiple cameras, the whole kit and caboodle. It takes weeks. It's fun, but it's cool, but it takes a lot of stuff. Again, perfect does not equal good. I'm going to drum this into your brain. I was thinking about making some slides where perfect was misspelled, but ran out of time because, perfect. So things to remember with video, multimedia. Be real. If your dog jumps on your lap while you're recording a video, leave it. It's funny. It's cute. People love their dogs. Students love their dogs. When I was in grad school, my prof's dog would jump on her lap every time she was on a video call. I got to know the dog really well. Being you, you don't have to be someone else. You're already the subject matter expert. You know the stuff. Drop a joke, drop a pun if that's your way. But you don't have to feel uncomfortable on camera. And the more you do it, the more you're going to be you. Being succinct, the longer the video, the less people are going to want to watch it. So, you might want to ramble on and, occasionally in class about an unrelated story. If you can try and keep that out of video, it's good. And then being timeless. This is kind of a tricky thing and something I go back and forth on, is making reference to specific people or a current event that's happening right now. If you want to reuse a video, that's something that dates your video immediately. So don't say, this week in the news, the president tweeted this, because 1, that's just, you don't know what you're going to get, and 2, it really puts you at a certain date and time. So being really general in those kind of time references helps a lot. And if you're doing some sort of content like that, good time for my phone to go off. It's always spam. 3 things to think about with basic DIY video. And we made this really easy for you to remember. There's Loom, there's Zoom, and now we've got this one-button studio room. I needed something to rhyme, and studio does not rhyme with anything. So Loom, this is a really, really cool Chrome extension. We were skeptical of it at first. It's gotten even cooler. So there's a link to this, and I'll be putting all of this out, so you don't have to memorize this. You don't have to take notes. Loom is a Chrome extension. You press a button, it adds to your browser, and when you want to give student feedback, you literally press one button. It pops up on your screen. It records your webcam. It records you. And then when you're done recording, you press stop. It immediately gives you a link you can copy and paste into an email. The one thing with it is captioning is a little tricky. So if there's any sort of accommodation you need for that, Loom is not your tool, but it's really good for quick, easy things. If you're like, let me show it, like students like, I can't find this thing on Blackboard. Loom, press button, show them it, talk it through, press button to stop, send it off. You can also actually see when someone's viewed the content too, which is really, really handy. You can send them personalized links, or you can say, you know, here's the link for the class. It needs to hit at least 28 views, that kind of thing. And they can comment at different points of the video with different little emojis. So happy face, sad face, angry face. It's, you know, the full range of emotion, which is a really good way to kind of say, you know, are you with me? And you can even kind of finagle that into a multiple choice. Say, okay, here's the question. We can test everyone's understanding. Happy face is A, answer A. Sad face is B, angry face C. Thinking about using that kind of thing. This is actually a screenshot of what it looks like in action. As you can see, I was working, you know, really hard. I did not have my webcam plugged in, so it just defaulted to my Google profile picture down in the bottom corner. But you can kind of see, I'm gonna stop moving the mouse so the slides don't pop up. There's that little check mark. I press that when I'm done. And that's really it. If you can see way up in the top right, that little icon among all my extensions that looks like a pinwheel, that's Loom. That's all you have to press to start and stop the recording. Again, just gonna drum this into your brain. You're gonna not. So the icon for doing it is up here in the very top right. I have a lot of extensions. You will not have that many. I need to go and do a little cleaning myself. Again, perfect, not equal good. Zoom, like a lot of you, I assume, are familiar with Zoom at this point. We love it. Really good for video chatting and sharing. If you want to record longer sessions, Dave, actually, if you want to talk to what you did with this. Dave used Zoom to record a ton of really good little lectures for his MOOC this summer. So.
Yeah, we put together a MOOC, which I think was really only the second or third one that
second or third, yes, like relatively recent.
Have been done. So we were still kind of working with production, for lack of a better word, piece of it. And Eric was extremely helpful. We put it together. It had 6 modules. We did, I think we had over 1,400 enrollees in it, so participants, yeah. So I'm not trying to be patronizing, but quite honestly, it was, I think the success of it was completely due to the support that IT gave. All the ideas, you talked about the pedagogy, he was consistently reminding me how to, you know, integrate that with the technology to achieve the learning outcomes. We did a lot of, we're able to use a green screen, and just all kinds of techniques. Had the backdrop of the library, the CSS library. So it looked like I was sitting at a table in the library when reality I was right down the hall. And we could change the green screen to different scenarios. Recorded all the pieces, used little short links. I took, again, coached me to take the topics and subtopic the units into usable chunks that people would, so we would transition. You know, I know we worked a little bit on it when I finished a section to stop for about 3 seconds, stare at the camera, so that it would give them edit room so it smoothly transitioned. And after a few times of that, we kind of got it down. And we would end up with one of the units with 6, 7 little clicks that they could do different topics with all the slides there. And so they could kind of go in for 4 or 5, I think 7, 8 minutes maybe, and get the lecture and the content, and documents and screen sharing. And it was the Zoom piece of it was pretty seamless once we got down to it. And honestly, I was very pleased with the support. And now we have an archive. This was in the rural health curriculum, but we have a archive program, I would think, next year if you want to run the
really use it, yeah.
It's timeless.
Yeah, it's timeless. Yeah, and that's something that's kind of fun is, you know, with these tools that we're building, I think Dave did about a few dozen videos over the course of 2 days, which, I mean, Herculean effort on his part, but it's fast, it's simple. If you know the content, my number one goal is the video tech stuff, that should fade in the background. So we're choosing really easy to use tools, and that's another thing we're looking at with that production quality. It's worth it to be, you know, pretty good video if you're going to use it and make it. If we have the best studio in the world and no one uses it, useless. But, you know, we can make this work for you. Other good things with Zoom, you can record live or asynchronously. You can record, you know, late at night at home, or if you want to record during class, like we're recording right now, we're recording these sessions. Really easy way to do that. You can record directly to your computer or directly to Zoom's cloud. Either option works. You need a pro account for the cloud recording, but it does some very cool things with that as well. But, you know, here's a few ways that we've talked about using Zoom. Besides that, you know, office hours, if you want to record and, you know, reflect on your office hours, especially when you're looking at, you know, what kind of advice am I giving? It's kind of tough to reflect in the moment, but if you're sitting down with students, say, you know, let's record this so you have a copy and I have a copy, and you can look back on, you know, was I a good advisor at this point? Was I giving consistent advice? Face-to-face classroom, sharing the screen, that kind of thing, and screening the presentations. You can, let's say if you're sick and it's a presentation day, you don't have to drag yourself into the classroom. Just say, students, record your presentations using Zoom, send them all to me, and you can watch them. Or you can even watch it live from your own bed if you're, you know, want to be that cool. But you can watch it after the fact too.
So Eric?
Yes.
A question about Zoom. When you're teaching face-to-face live, is there anything that we can do to really equalize the audio piece? I mean, generally, as I've done it, you always had to be up front. Now I know in 4105 we have mics on the ceiling, but is there anything? Because if you're trying to be an active teacher, you have to stand by a microphone. That's a little problematic also.
Yeah, I've been playing with that, and I think it's either these Amazon tablets or iPads on a tripod. So you just kind of, you know, pick it up. What's nice with those is they're designed for audio to come from all over the place. So you get really good room audio as well with that. And it's just, I'm trying to build these little backpack kits for that. So you just kind of sit in the room. Yeah, that's a really good thing to think about is audio is key. People will accept really shoddy video quality, but if you've got loud fans in the background or just, you know, loud just grinding noise outside if there's construction happening because we're in Minnesota in summer, just kind of eliminate any sort of bad noises. Video feedback, if you go over an assignment and record it, these kind of things are really helpful. Short demos or tutorials, like here's how you do something. Rather than give that same instructions 80 times, use Zoom to do it. Student presentation recording, and then you can have them record their own peer review as well. A lot of really useful ways to do video, and the students can get involved with it too. All students have a basic Zoom account already built into their CSS ID. So super useful. One button studio room is something I've been working on this summer. The first really basic iteration is already built in the science room. This is a room you walk in, you press a button to record. And then when you're done, you press a button to stop. And that's it. It automatically uploads a video file, and I'm going to have a little Google form right there. So you just say, here's who I am, here's what time it is, I started here, I stopped here, and your file will be there within a few minutes, direct to you. Right now we've got it can record your webcam and screen. I'm adding a document camera, adding some nice different backdrops and a green screen and better lighting and audio. So kind of stay tuned for that. If there's things you want to have in that, like if you say, I want to have a table where I can do this, or I want to have a whiteboard in this space to record, just send me any ideas for this because I'm building it as we speak.
Yeah. I have a question regarding captioning. Is there a way we could use, like, sometimes on my phone when I give a lecture, I'll just use my speaker so that it records it, then I can go back in and correct it really quick and get it done. Is there a way we could have that system set up with this so it automatically captions the video?
You're jumping ahead. Like the good students. Again, perfect, not good, getting read. We'll jump back to that if we need to. I'll just keep going with this. Next category of video is kind of what I call assisted video. That's you plus me working on something. It's still pretty fast, but you know, it just needs a little bit of my expertise or Jake, my intern. Hi, Jake. and other student interns will be able to help you with this. So we've got the light board downstairs, and I'll do some screenshots of that. We've got all these whiteboards around, and we can easily set up kind of those things where you do a time lapse of a whiteboard, like with a drawing and writing and a voiceover. We can do that. It's pretty easy to do with some help, and we can get you started. We also have mountable action cams. These can be put on tripods or worn on your head or worn on your chest. Really, really good for demonstrations. We're looking at using that with some of the art classes later this year. So you can actually get a very first-person perspective of what's going on. All sorts of really cool things. We've got the toys, so come and play. This is what the light board looks like, and you all know Donna, always helpful. Basically, it is a clear whiteboard. You write on it with this illuminated marker. You write totally forwards. I do all this flipping in post, but if you can write on a whiteboard and talk at the same time, which I can't do, you can use this, and it's a really, really cool thing, and the students really engage with it. And you just do that by emailing me. We set up a time, you come give your lectures, and you get videos in your email a few days later. This is what it kind of looks like in real life. It's very DIY. So top left, that's what you build. That's the image that comes out of the camera, and then it kind of edits itself up. Again, just drumming this into you. Perfect. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to be you. High-end video. This is, we can script it, use the teleprompter. We can go to different locations. If there's somewhere in Duluth that you think is a really relevant location, camera kit's mobile, lighting's mobile. We can go down to Canal Park or anywhere that you think is going to be a really useful spot. We use multiple cameras. We get different angles. We can get zoomed in, wide angle, anything you really want. If you can figure out something to get a drone so we can get one so I can play with it, that'd be great. Let's talk about that. Just email me and we'll make your dreams happen with this. This takes a little bit more planning. So you're typically looking at minimum 2 weeks from like idea, shoot, finish. That's like a sprint. Typically you want to think about this a month and a half, or for next term, that's ideal.
Eric, can I just make a comment?
Yeah.
We did a couple of, when I was filming the intro for the movie, we did a couple. The hallway reminded me of it, and of course there's traffic coming by and stuff. So we eventually went out to the courtyard out there outside, and he set up a couple of different cameras. So we had the angle, during the pieces, and put the teleprompter there. And I was amazed myself with that teleprompter there and the text flow. It was just seamless. I mean, it just really flowed well, looked well. The camera is throughout the presentation switches angles, and just like in a studio type thing. So it was really easy to do. It was, I thought, very, very effective.
Yeah.
Intro, very impressive. It was the first thing to see.
Yeah, that's something that's nice is like with this high-end video, we can really remove the ums, the ahs. If you pay me in chocolate, I'll do it. You name it, we can do it. So you made the content using one of those methods. Now what do we do with it? YouTube is my #1 answer for all those questions. If you're doing any sort of video content, it's really easy to upload. It's easy to share. It sizes itself to any device. The captioning system on it is great, and it's getting better. They're actually doing an update the day after tomorrow. So there's some major big upgrade happening right now. All I know is it's happening, but that's exciting. And you can also get some pretty basic analytics with it, which are kind of nice to say. I shot this 20-minute video. Are people watching it? You can see, 400 minutes of content have been watched. I find it really motivating to see people are actually watching what I'm seeing. You get tangible results. So as far as uploading YouTube, we'll go over this later today in more detail, but this is literally the process. You sign in your CSS account, you go to YouTube, and you already have your video file. There's this little icon up there. When you're signed in with a little camera button with a plus, you press that. You press where it says upload video. You drag and drop it onto that screen, and then you're done. That's it. You just press, save. You can fill in a little more details, but that is the process for uploading a video. It is drag and drop. And we'll go over that first few times it might take a little practice, a little bit of, where is this button that they've moved it to, but it's really straightforward, which is another reason I really like it. YouTube playlists for organizing things. So like Dave said, we had his content divided up into 2 to 5 minute clips. Sometimes it was unit 1 was, I think, 6 5-minute clips. So we organized those into a playlist. What that let us do is, one, the content, when you finish, unit 1, part 1, kind of like Netflix goes to the next episode, automatically rolls in the next episode of 2. So the students see a 5-minute video or a 2-minute video when they open up, not the 45-minute unit 1 lecture. Our data, and we want to do some more testing with this, is that the short videos, people will watch more of that. That they won't watch a 10-minute video, they'll watch 10 5-minute videos. I don't know, it doesn't make sense, but it does make sense because that's kind of this whole Netflix idea of, I'm going to sit and just let it roll through. Because it's kind of that, you have to stop them from initially turning off the screen or saying, I'm not going to watch that. What's also nice with these playlists is, instead of pasting 7 links, you paste 1 link to the playlist into your Blackboard course or wherever you're posting this. They can go to individual videos if they want to within that, but that way you just, for your management, you only have to do that.
Eric, I also got a lot of feedback that the playlist with giving them the subtopic was very helpful. Several commented that they didn't have to go to a big video and find it. They could just click on that piece that they wanted to review.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's another really good thing, is using those analytics. We can look at, let's say, unit 1, video 3 was the most viewed video 8 times over. That tells us something. Either something's not clear in there or something's really important in there. But that helps you get a little bit more idea of, where do I need to focus more on in class with that content. Another really great thing with these video playlists, you can use the same video in multiple playlists. So you can, one thing I've seen done that's really cool is you can say, these are the important videos for the end of the unit test. Here's your unit review playlist. All those kind of things. Or if you want to organize, here's all my videos for one course in this playlist. And then section by section, and you can break it down as many times as you want. All the playlist does is say, oh, grab these videos. And you can even incorporate other people's videos into your playlist. So if you find a really good video and you want to kind of bookend it with your own content, video 1, the other content, your other content. Really, really useful.
So Dave, did you do yours divided up then, or did you do the 45-minute lecture method?
No, I
did you do
divide-
5-minute videos?
Well, some were a little bit longer actually, but there were 6 units to the course, and then we did playlists for each unit by the subtopics. And we would end up, I think some of the units were 7 to 8 segments, and they were actually running 6, 7, 8 minutes, I think some of them.
But you would pause, you would stop between.
Stop, and that was the staring I was saying, it took some technique there. Coach, we say, when you say edit, you need a nice clean transition, don't just ramble into the next topic. But once we got that, and then he did the edits, created the playlists, and then they would go to that unit, and they'd have 50, 60 minutes of video total.
Yeah. Another great thing with that is, if, let's say, one of the topics, something changes dramatically in the law or something else, you don't have to reshoot that 50-minute video. You pull out the irrelevant video and you shoot an update. So that's a nice way to keep content updated, but you only have to update 5 minutes at a time. Really, really helpful. Captioning, we're here. It's not optional. It is, frankly, just, one, it's good UDL. I don't need captions. I'm constantly have my captions on because it's sometimes helpful to see, what are they spelling, what are they doing. You can put a lot of good content into your captions. It's good practice, and it's also, it's legally required. If anyone needs an accommodation for your video, you are legally required to have captions in the video. YouTube makes it really easy. That's the really good news. YouTube will do 98% of the work. Scripts help if you know you're going to be doing a lecture recording. write down a script, because then you can literally copy paste that into YouTube. It'll match your script to where you're talking. Saves you hours. And we have these little teleprompters that you can put your phone on and just kind of hang it on your laptop. So you can use your webcam and talk. I'll be bringing those to the afternoon session. Super helpful little device. It just makes everything better. Getting good audio. These auto captioners depend on clear, crisp audio. It's another reason. Avoid fans blowing on you while you're recording, all those kind of noises. The clearer, the crisper the audio, the more likelihood it's going to get that captioning right. And you can use this auto caption to start and then do little corrections. That's how I do it often. There's also services with that the college does pay for, and depending on how, there's different ways to get people to pay for it. So we can discuss that if there's a large need. But there's services that will caption for $1 a minute. So if you've got highly scientific content or something that needs to be exactly right, those services might be the best bet. We can also get student help. There's a really easy way to do, you ask for community captions, then anyone who you send that link to can caption the videos. And that's actually a pretty cool assignment, especially if you're looking in social work, to get that experience of doing captioning. It's really straightforward for the students, and instead of you checking the captions on every video, you say, all right, student group A, you're responsible for checking the captions on weeks 1, 3, and 5. And you just make that part of the assignment. And then your content is set. And it's a really good experience and makes students conscious of, captions are a thing, they're important, they're part of society. And they're really pretty handy for everyone. Because we can then export them as well, and you can use them as a transcript. This is what the YouTube captioner looks like. Just so you can see, it's really not at all scary. You can see typical YouTube screen. You can see what the caption's going on. I borrowed your slides, Dave, thanks. And I can see what's being said at this particular time. And if something's spelled wrong, I just double click on it, type it in that little box. It tracks really, really, really well. And it's very straightforward to do, and you can just save like that. Another really cool thing you can do with captions that one of my favorite YouTube channels does is you can add a caption track that is just extra information. So this channel is this guy who does all this do-it-yourself stuff in the woods. It's called Primitive Technology. He's silent the whole time. And his caption track is him typing out exactly what he's doing during it. So if you want to give additional instructions, take advantage of the caption tracks and add that in there. But let your students know, because they probably won't discover them on accident, as good as they are. Sharing videos. Any YouTube video you see, you'll see that little share icon right below it. When you click on that, this little box will pop up, especially if you're logged in. The main thing you really want to care about is that YouTube link right there. If you want to start the video at a particular time, let's say it's got a 30-second intro, it's not your video, you've got better content than that. You can actually just check that box that says start at a certain time, and you can set it to a particular timestamp to start it. It's really handy, especially if you're doing videos for class. You copy that link with the timestamp, it'll start at that time. Really, really handy. So you can copy that link just directly to Blackboard, directly to email, anywhere you really want to.
This might be off point, but can you do that? Does it have to be a video you recorded, or could I go on?
Any video.
Really?
Any YouTube video, you'll see that share icon. And I recommend doing that little that's an extra click over grabbing the little URL at the top, because sometimes it just has extra fuzz in it in the URL at the top that you copy. That share button, you're gonna get exactly the right thing, like what you want. Because sometimes the link might have that, start at 45 seconds. And that can be really frustrating to deal with. So yeah, any video you see on YouTube, you can do. And another thing we'll be going over with the playlists again, you can add any YouTube video you have access to your own set of playlists. So go out, you can harvest other people's content and package yourself around it. Sometimes, especially with this tech tips, I know I'm not going to do as good of a job as Google does, but I can grab those videos that Google's made and put them in my own little collection of here's the necessity videos that you need to watch.
I guess that was my point. So in
Yeah.
other words, if we went out and took a video that's out on YouTube,
Mhm.
we may not necessarily want to show the whole, have them view the whole 5 minutes, but there might be a minute and a half in there that's really on point.
Yeah.
We can set it so that when they click it, it starts at a certain point and ends.
We can't do the ending, but we can say stop at this point. At least not. YouTube updates constantly. That's another thing. Just as a heads up, any screenshot I show you today, Google will change it on me tomorrow. Like while I was setting up for this presentation, I did some slides a few weeks ago. Google changed 3 things on me in that. So always check your screenshots. And again, that's why these quick little video things are so useful. And then this is another thing that's really, really key is Google Forms plus video. So people are always asking, how do I make sure my students are watching the video? And analytics tell you nothing because all that means is the video played on their device. They may have it on the background. They might be watching something else. I mean, they can do a lot of stuff and not watch your video. So put a little Google form below every link. I'm actually making this video watch check one of the templates in Google Forms, so you can just grab this pretty instantly. And I'll actually pull this up real quick. So what I've got in here is automatically collecting student email and asking them what's their name. So you can see, who are you dealing with? And then asking them a few multiple choice questions about the video. They got to watch it to get it, or at least watch enough of it. It's usually worth their time more just watch it than struggle back and forth with this. Make these difficult questions, which is good question writing, which is tough pedagogy. We could have a whole session just on that. But these are kind of some good example questions. What's one concept you should know about from this video? And list some things that are kind of mentioned in the video, maybe not, or not at all mentioned in the video. And then they really haven't watched it. They're just filling this in. When did this person talk about this content? Put a few different timestamps in, spread them around, make them work for it. And what did the video not cover? That's a really good question to ask because, you can really put something in there that, they will know. So this is actually what the students will see of it when they load up. This will work on phones. This will work on any device, which is really, really handy. They fill that in, and you'll actually get a kind of a results page with Google Forms of, all right, here's everyone. Here's what everyone answered for the questions. And you can pretty instantly see, okay, I've got everyone in the classes watch the video. Everyone in the class got question 1 right, half of them got question 2 wrong, half of them got question 3 right. Then okay, I got to focus on these points because there's something wrong there. Just a really quick, pretty easy way to do the actual making sure they're engaging with the content. Generally, I say, make it due before class. Other good thing, it timestamps when they submit that form. So you can say, wow, so glad you watched it 5 minutes before class. You must be, content's fresh in your mind. Or, on the wellness side, why are you watching this video at 2 a.m.? Like, do we need to talk about your study habits? Keep those kind of things in your mind as you're looking through these. There's a lot of data in here that it kind of accidentally captures that you can think about as an instructor. And then you can also just use these to test understanding. Really, really useful things, really simple. This Google form took me approximately 2 minutes to build. So it might take you, first time, 10, 15 minutes to understand, okay, this is Google Forms, this is where I get the links, all that kind of stuff. I'm happy to work with you to get you started on that, or Qualtrics. But this is one of the handiest tools to actually make sure the video content's engaged with. So, it's a little bit of extra self-promotion. There's a hands-on session this afternoon down at Science 111. Not only will you see all the stuff we talked about today, I've got a lot of virtual reality and augmented reality toys to play with, and just all sorts of cool stuff happening there. There's also this, the ATI website. There's a little thing inside that says reflect. Fill in a reflection, like let me know what you learned, what you want to know, what you're still wondering about. And if you have any questions on any of these things, if you're like, I have this crazy idea that we might be able to do, my answer is 99% going to be, yes, we can do that, and here's how. You don't have to worry about the technical side, just worry about the pedagogy, and we'll get the rest. Cool. Questions?
I have a question
Yeah.
about captioning.
Yes.
So if you've already created a video in Zoom, linked it to YouTube,
Mhm.
Will YouTube automatically apply those new processes for making the captioning better? Or do you have to?
That's a really good question. My guess is yes, but I'd have to check into that. Yeah, typically Google kind of retroactively says, you know, especially if the video is being watched, Google can kind of say, oh, this is actually getting engaged with. It's an active video. If it's a video that hasn't been watched in 4 years, they might not waste the server on it. But what we can always do too is we can always download and re-upload, and you know, with these new captioning things. Any online questions? Oh, I see chats. Cool.
This might be too big of a question.
I like the
Do you know what it's
questions.
right now? Purely hypothetical, if you've never done a video type of teaching format, what kind of content is like the low-hanging fruit to start with? I'm sitting here thinking about my courses and thinking, what would I choose first?
Yeah.
Are you just talking over your slides, or do you need a?
That's some good. There's a lot. The good thing is like low hanging fruit is everywhere with this. It's you know, if you've got essays or anytime you give feedback to students. A lot of time when I was a student, I'd sit across from my professor. We'd be going over my paper, and I'd leave and I'd be like, I remember nothing, and that was just always, you know, not very helpful. So what would be great is, you know, you're working with a student. You have their essay up on the screen, you press Zoom to record, and you say, we're going to go over this. You have the same meeting you would normally, and you just send that recording off to the student after they're done. That way they can see your comments on the paper, but they can also go back and they can say, you know, you said something about 5 minutes in that like I should work on, but what was that? You have that video recording. Another really handy thing is anytime you think about, I get asked the same question 8 times a term. Make a little Loom or Zoom video that's just ready on it. It's like, I can't get into the discussion board. Grab that little link, throw it in the email and say, this should help, let me know if you have more questions. Rather than sending a super long email, because like, anytime you have to explain something that you normally take a bunch of screenshots and all that, do a Loom or a Zoom and just do that. Video can actually save you a lot of time as the creator or explainer. Yeah. And just recording your presentations is always, it's some good practice, and it starts to make you think about, is this necessary? Am I communicating this well? But definitely it's worth getting started. You don't need to be intimidated by it at all. It's easy, students like it, and it can save you time in the classroom that you can do on stuff that you actually want to do instead of a lot of lecture. You know, anything to ask?
No.
Yeah, and yeah, the more high-end video work that you give me, the more I can have Jake work on cool things. So, yeah.
Particularly if you want to shoot outside, I would love that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of sitting inside.
It's been a fun summer. Yeah, just to give an idea of some of the higher end things, because that's something that's tougher to compartmentalize. We shot some 360 and also hands-on video at the hospital, kind of doing some training for here's what it should look like. So we went and shot there. President Geary for the St. John's Bible, you know, rather than doing a little recording over, we went and we shot down in the hallway and did some overlays, did all that kind of stuff. What else have you worked on? We did some interviews.
I've done interviews, time lapses outside. More of that captioning you're talking about, working on that. That when he says it's easy, it's easy. I even thought it was going to be difficult. It took me 20 minutes to get through an 18-minute video. They do a very good job at listening and transposing it. Just take in mind they don't really do a good job with punctuation or capitalization. So if you have a lot of ums or uhs, they'll say that. So if you need if when you're reading it back, watching it back, it kind of looks a little weird. So if you want to go in and do that, you can. And I do recommend it. Otherwise, it just looks like a hodgepodge of words.
Yeah.
How does the high end work with simulation? Can you do anything in simulation on high end, or are you doing anything, or is that separate?
Oh, we can do just about, yeah, with high end, if you're talking like interview simulations or
Yeah, messy house case where maybe you
Yeah.
can film a messy house scenario. Or...
Exactly. So that's the kind of thing. So let's say it's a house visit where you have to notice certain things. We've talked a little bit about doing this with we have cameras that will shoot full 360-degree video, where so you can put on a headset or drag with their mouse and look around the view. That we kind of go in, we record, and that would be a really good thing to pair with Google Forms. So you have the video. What are the things you noticed? What are the things you like? What are the danger zones? All those kind of things is really think about video as it's not an end all be all. It's a component that kind of slots into things. So yeah, we can again create that kind of content really easily. I do want to be mindful that lunch is starting soon, and I want to let you out early so you're first in line. Where is lunch? Is it down in the comments?
Yeah, I believe so. But
There's one more session.
Oh, that's the next session. This is when I normally eat, so I'm like, I'm gonna go snack. Yeah, get some coffee, get some of that. If you have any questions, I'll be around all day, always on my email. So thank you all so much. No lunch yet? I'm not gonna make it, Sarah.
Get a brownie bite. Oh, that's chat. Why didn't I see this? Oh, it's from before.
I just did that. Stop recording. I pressed stop share and said stop recording.
Okay.